Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm super excited for this video because I'm going to be doing a full face of first impressions, which I have not done in a hot minute. It's been like 2 months. So Milani Cosmetics actually reached out to me, which was very cool, and asked me if there was anything I would like to try. So I picked a bunch of products that had been on my mind that I was curious about, and it just so happened to work out to where it was almost an entire full face of first impressions. The only thing I have here that wasn't sent to me from Milani, even though it is from Milani, is the Silky Matte Sunlight bronzer in the shade 01, which was actually sent to me from a subscriber, but I haven't gotten around to trying it yet, so I thought I'd go ahead and throw this in. Obviously, since it's Milani, it's a full face version, it works. And then I don't have any blush, so I'll probably use one of my Milani blushes that I already own. And then I did my brows off camera, and I don't have mascara or eyeliner, but everything else besides that is going to be a first impression. So I'm super excited to dig into all of this, so let's just jump in. Oh, and also the palette. Oh, should I do my eyes before I do my face? No, I'm going to do my face first. But the palette I'm going to be trying today is the Gilded Jade palette, which is their green eyeshadow palette. So I'm super excited to dig into this and see how I feel. All right, so first off, I'm going to start with a primer, and this is their Prime Correct Face Primer, and it says that it corrects redness. I feel like they have several different versions of this, but I don't know. I always have a red face, and I don't think I've ever tried a primer specifically to help with that. It's never been a big deal to me just because normally I go in with a foundation that covers it, but I thought it would be nice to try. So I'm just gonna I don't even know how much to use. So I just did tiny little dabs, and I'm gonna blend that in. I don't know if I used enough. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit more. I don't think that did anything. It feels kind of smooth, but it doesn't feel super silicone-y. I'm going to give my face just a second to let it calm down, because normally whenever I rub things into my face, it gets red because it gets red from everything. And I'm going to see if it made a difference. All right, so I'm not sure if it made a big difference, but I am curious to look back whenever I'm editing the video and see if I see a difference at all. But next for foundation, I'm going to use the Conceal and Perfect foundation stick in the shade 200 Porcelain. I was really excited about this because I love foundation sticks so much. For some reason, they all work for me so well. There's just something about a foundation stick and my skin. It's a match made in heaven. So I got the lightest shade, which is 200. And I'm a little bit curious because the shade that I wear in their Conceal and Perfect foundation and concealer liquid foundation is the shade 00A, but it's also called Porcelain, so hopefully it'll work out. So there's what it looks like. I do really like the packaging on this. It looks pretty nice. Okay, so it's not super creamy. I do have to kind of drag it on the skin a little bit, but the color looks all right. And then I'm just going to go ahead and blend it in with a foundation brush because I always do that with my stick foundations. I have been loving, where is it? I have been loving the brushes that were in BoxyCharm for November. There was this one, which is bigger, and then there was a smaller one as well. And it is so good for blending in stick foundation. I'm obsessed. Probably one of my favorite things I've ever gotten from BoxyCharm. I'm just going to go ahead and blend that in. Oh, wow. That's pretty good coverage. I was not expecting it. Probably could have gone in with less product. Alright, so I really like how that looks. I feel like it's definitely a nice medium coverage. The color is pretty perfect. It's kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's super matte or super, definitely not dewy either. It's just a very natural looking finish. So far, so good. So now I'm going to go ahead and I have the concealer here, which I've been super curious about. I almost purchased this, but I ended up purchasing the e.l.f. concealer instead, the Camo concealer, which definitely looks a little bit lighter, but I actually really don't like this. I'm going to do an updated review on it, but I just keep trying to use it, and it's just too cakey for me, so I'm excited to try this one out. I have the shade 100 Pure Ivory. It's the Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer. So I'm just going to go ahead and use just a little bit of that. It smells exactly the same as the NARS concealer. The Radiant Creamy Concealer. Smells super similar to that. Just going to slightly cover up my acne and highlight my face a little bit. But I'm not using a ton of product. I'm going to blend that in with my finger. It's blending out pretty easy. The color is pretty nice. It's not too light, but it's light enough, which always makes me so happy from the drugstore, just because I remember like a time when I could not ever find concealer that was light enough for me that didn't cost $30. Alright, so first impression would be that I do like the concealer so far. I think it looks nice. Of course, I have to see how it wears and everything, but it's not overly cakey. It honestly kind of feels like it already set itself. Like my face does not feel tacky at all. It's just a very nice flat finish. So now I've got a powder, which I'm pretty excited to try because this is an illuminating transparent powder. It's the Prep Set and Glow. I feel like I've heard good things about this. It's the shade 02. So there's what it looks like. I'm swatching it, like just barely picking up. I mean, it looks definitely light enough. Don't really see a glow, but it doesn't look super matte either. I'm gonna take a Morphe E2 and just lightly set my face. I feel like this powder I'll like a lot more over something that's already dewy, just because this is kind of a pretty matte face. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and use the Silky Matte Bronzer in the shade 01 Sunlight, which looks to be like a really nice shade for fair skin. So it does have some pigment to it, but it's kind of a nice kind of just soft color. It's not super warm. And start blending that in. I've been really liking this BH Cosmetics 125 brush just to do a more precise contour recently. Yeah, I like the shade. It's blending pretty well. Does it smell like something? Oh yeah, it does. It has kind of like a sweet coconutty scent to it, almost kind of like the Marc Jacobs coconut bronzer, but it's just not anywhere near as intense. Like you have to pull it all the way up to your nose in order to smell it. So for blush, I have quite a few options from Milani, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and use Bella Bellini, which kind of has a little bit more of a cool tone to it. I mean, kind of. It's like a pink, but it has a little bit of a golden aspect to it, so it's fine. I'm just going to use the same brush as I used for bronzer. Just pop it on my cheekbones. Alright, so now jumping into eyes, I'm really excited because I'm going to be trying out the eyeshadow primer. I feel like I've heard so many good things about this primer for years and I've just never tried it, so I'm excited to give it a chance. I feel like I've got pretty high expectations that it'll perform really well. Don't know if I've ever been so excited for an eyeshadow primer. It actually has instructions on it, which I didn't even realize was a thing, and it says applied to clean, dry lids, blend well from lash line to brow, allow to set for 30 seconds. So that's what we're going to do. And it's in the shade 01 Nude. I'm not sure if they have other shades. Actually, wait, before I apply it, let's go ahead and pull out the eyeshadow palette just so we can swatch it really quickly and just see what it's about. Here is Gilded Jade. Really like the packaging. It's pretty nice, actually. And then here's what it looks like. So it's a nice travel size palette because it has the two highlighters here, which I think you could definitely use as eyeshadows. And then there's 9 different shades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mattes, and then 4 shimmers. So here's the 2 highlighters. First we have Aura, which looks really beautiful, like such a pretty light gold. I'm probably going to use that as my highlighter today. And then Amber Glow, which is more of a bronze. And then just out of curiosity, if you had a medium skin tone and you wanted to mix the 2 shades together, that's what they look like layered. Alright, so for the first row we have Grounded. That feels pretty smooth. Try Me. And Mint Julep. Okay, next I have the Envy Of, which is such a pretty light gold. Gilded. That one's a little chunkier when you touch it, but it's pigmented. And then Lagoon, which has some really pretty sparkles in there. And then last but not least, we have Edible. It's a nice, deep, rich brown. Feels really creamy. That's Deep. And Jaded. Alright. So overall, I mean, everything is pigmented. It feels pretty smooth. Some of the formulas feel more, like they're not all completely consistent. Like some are softer than others. Like this was kind of like I kind of had to rub it into the skin a little bit more. Like it was just like more of a stiff formula. Whereas this was like super, super soft and kind of crumbly. But overall, it looks pretty good. High hopes, so we're going to go ahead and try it. Obviously. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a dab of the primer. Now we're going to give it 30 seconds. Oh, my coffee is so cold. I think I'm going to go ahead and start off with Mint Julep. Just using a nice big fluffy brush, I'm going to throw that into my crease. Okay, definitely applying very sheer. Just going to go ahead and use more of a packing motion first. And I could see how that could potentially be good to blend out the other greens, but it's not going to stand on its own. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of Jaded. I'm just taking it on that same fluffy brush, just since that previous shade didn't show up that much. I kind of want to use this as a transition now. Just going to go ahead and throw it in there. I feel like these are super powdery type shadows, so I think that they would probably work really well with a more sticky tacky base. So I'm definitely going to give this palette another shot and see how the shades show up. It's not that it's necessarily bad, it's just pretty sheer, which isn't my personal favorite. I feel like if you want to add a little bit of green in your life and you're not super into bright, colorful looks and you just want a wearable pop, this could be good. But if you're looking for an intense green palette, it's definitely having to be built up quite a bit. That was better. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and grab some of that Steep on a little bit of a smaller fluffy brush and just start that off in my outer V. Just blend it in. I'm going to go ahead and pop a little bit of So Deep along the outer part of the lower lash line. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and take some of this shade Lagoon just because it's so pretty and sparkly. And we're just going to pick up a little bit on my finger just to see how it applies. And I'm going to put it on the outer part of my lid. Oh yeah, that's really, really pretty. Oh, definitely fallout though. I'm going to go ahead and take Try Me. I'm also just going to use that on my finger and I'm going to pop that onto the inner part of the lid. I feel like this finished look, I mean, I'm not exactly finished yet, but it reminds me a lot of the Just My Luck palette from ColourPop. I'm going to go ahead and take Gilded. I'm going to pop that onto my lower lash line right here. Just blending it into that deep. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take the Envy Of, and I'm going to pop that onto my inner corner. Just for the heck of it, since it's here, I'm also going to go ahead and take a little bit of that highlighter in the shade Aura and just pop that on top too for an extra intense inner corner. Alright, really quickly off camera, I'm going to go ahead and throw Melt Cosmetics Fortuna gel liner in my waterline, and then I'm going to use I'm going to use the Too Faced Bad and Sex mascara, and I'll be right back. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and take the highlighter shade Aura. Super excited about this just because it swatches nice and it looks like such a pretty color. Oh yeah. It's just a nice kind of like soft electric-y gold. I feel like it actually looks pretty smooth on the skin too. So the palette, I would say probably, I actually really like the way the look turned out. I was kind of a little bit unsure at first when I was blending the mattes, but the colors are really beautiful. So I think I would probably give this like maybe a B- as of now, but I'm definitely going to try it with more like different eyeshadow primers and just see what I can do with it. But now, last but not least for the look today, I have a couple different lipsticks I really want to try on and just do some lip swatches quickly. We've got 4 different shades here, and they're just all the like regular Milani formula in like not the matte formula, I mean. So I picked out 4 different nude shades because that's me to a T, and I'm super excited about all of them, and I'm excited to have more like just super easy, accessible drugstore lipstick options to be using in my videos. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with Nude Creme. Just looks like that. It's super strong, fruity smell. Total throwback. I have not bought a new Milani lipstick in the longest time. Just going to go ahead and try it. Just like a nice, soft pink. So that is Nude Creme. Right, next is the shade Dulce Caramello. Kind of looks like more of a mid-tone neutral. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. It kind of just has like it's kind of a neutral, but it just has a tint of pink to it. Very, very comfortable, just kind of like a satiny finish. So that is Dulce Caramello. Alright, so next is the shade Naked. And I feel like I used to have matte Naked, but this is just the OG formula. So it looks like a nice, like kind of mauve-y nude. That actually reminds me so much of the Bite Beauty Taurus lipstick from their Zodiac Sign limited edition collection they did. So that is Naked. Alright, last but not least is the shade Bahama Beige, which is a little bit more of a warm tone lippy. I probably should have done this one before because I'm going to do my thumbnail pictures, and I feel like this one is the one that goes with the look the least. Okay, so I really like that. It's a very pretty, flattering, warm nude. Not my favorite with this look. I would prefer something a little bit more cool toned, but I do think it's a really, really nice color. I really like their original formula. It's very, very comfortable. So that is Bahama Beige. I think I'm going to go ahead and put Nude Creme back on because I like that one the most, I think, with this look. Alright, you guys, so this is the finished look, and I actually do really love how it turned out. I feel like it's super, super pretty, and I pretty much liked all of the products. I'm definitely going to have to keep using them and testing them and trying them with other things. I feel like a full face of first impressions is always just fun and not anything to be taken super seriously just because it's so many products that are new at one time. It's hard to say like this is what I loved or didn't like, and I'm excited to just test everything out further, but I do really like the finished look. I think it's very pretty, and even though, like I said, at first those mattes were a little bit sheer, I think that it ended up looking really, really nice, and I love a good green look. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.